Today we're talking to Anand Dilvar, who's the author of The Slave, a spiritual manifesto for a better way of life. So thank you very much for joining us today, Anand.
Thank you very much.
I read the book recently and enjoyed it very much. It's already a bestseller, I believe.
It's been a bestseller in Mexico for many years. We have sold here only in Mexico 1.2 million copies of it. And then it has now been translated to 26 languages, and it's been sold in 28 countries so far.
And the book you've chosen a fictional story to offer these insights into life's universal truths. Why did you do that rather than write a self-help book for people?
I've been writing self-help books all my career. I have 36 books published. This Slave is my number 17, my book number 17. And I wanted to touch the audience with a compelling story. My goal since the beginning of writing it was to keep their attention focused on the lecture. It's one of those books that you cannot let down once you start reading it. So I managed to achieve that goal. And I think that people are enjoying these kind of stories with an extra message, So I found it a very nice way to get to people in a way that is interesting, entertaining, and also keeps their attention focused.
It certainly does that. It is a page turner, but it is, without wanting to give too much away to our readers, because obviously you want them to read it. Yes. It's a very dramatic storyline, and it's about a young man who's in a coma, a waking coma after a tragic accident, and that's a very dramatic storyline. And I wondered, because all the way through you're not sure how this is going to turn out.
Yes.
Did you always have the ending in mind, or did you vacillate between how it's going to end?
But that's a great question. I wonder what the end was. I had a general idea. I started writing the book. I had an idea of what the message I wanted to deliver, but I was not sure about the ending. You're absolutely very insightful about that. Yeah, I was not sure, and I gave the ending that they have to read it, but
yes, exactly.
it was not planned. No, you're right about that.
Yeah, all the way through I was wondering. I kept thinking this can go several ways. Yes. In the book, there are certain characters that come in, and Faith, who's the nurse, who's very kind to this unfortunate young man. Again, she has some angelic qualities. Is that what you were trying to hint at all the way through?
Every single character in the book is a metaphor. I mean, the main character is supposed to be all of us. We live in a state of paralysis. Many times we feel paralyzed by what happened to us, by our history, by our traumas, by everything that we believe that it is us, that we believe to be us, our history, basically. So that's a metaphor. And then all the characters are a metaphor for different things. So faith it's actually the possibility that we all have to ask for help and receive it. At one point in our history, we need to admit that situations or life has overcome our abilities, and we need to ask for help. So that's one metaphor of it is okay to be vulnerable, and it is okay to receive help from outside, from other people. And it is a mystery that the reader has to find out by himself or herself. Like, who is Faith? What is her role? Who was she really? So I leave it open.
Yeah, very much so. Do you think that in obviously these metaphors are good lessons for people when we're reading it? Do you believe that we can learn these lessons through reading, through other people's experiences, rather than the very dramatic situation that the protagonists find themselves in this book?
Yeah, well, I think that's the whole secret of the success of this book. You know, like it is a story that I am telling, and it is a story about all of us, about our longing, about our uh, um, hurts, you know, about our history with our family, about forgiving ourselves and forgiving our past. So. For sure, it is my intention that people can learn about it, and at least 1 million people try to I mean, feel identified with the story. You know,
Yes.
You know that it is written in the first person, so when you're reading it, you are affirming it. It is like, I now forgive myself. I now forgive my father and my mother, and so yeah, my intention was exactly um, to put the character in this dramatic situation as an exaggeration, I guess, no?
Yeah.
So people got really intense, but what it is being said and what is being the message is transmitted, it is real. I mean, anyone can understand it. That's why I think that everybody relates to this book.
Yeah. And certainly the forgiveness, you spoke of forgiveness there about his father. It certainly seemed to me to be one of the central themes, that central tenets of the book. Was that intentional, or was that just something that I related to?
No, definitely it's intentional. That's at the center of it, because I talk about freedom, and freedom only comes with responsibility. Responsibility is also the product of forgiveness. Forgiveness, not in the way that we give forgiveness to the other. No, we climb up an altar and then from there we are so good that we forgive the person that hurts us. No, forgiveness in the way that it is the result of understanding. If we see our parents' history, if we see our fathers or mothers' childhood, we will understand immediately that they did the best they could. But without this forgiveness, we can always blame them or blame the past or outside circumstances for anything that goes wrong. So without forgiveness, we're always pointing outside ourselves for the reason why we're not happy, why we're not completely at peace. You see, so forgiveness is turning the focus on ourselves and saying, wait a minute, you are responsible for everything that is happening to you. You're responsible for what you are now, and you are responsible for understanding what happened and letting it go.
It's a very, very strong message, and it's a very powerful story. I actually read it in virtually 2 sittings, and
great.
But the sort of stories and the messages that come through in the book, Anand, you are the founder of the Vision Quest Center in Mexico.
That's correct.
Is this the sort of work that you do through the center? Are these the messages that you spread through the center, or can you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. My center was created 10 years ago. It was a result of my own spiritual and self-improvement quest. I've been working very hard on myself, traveling all around the world, visiting spiritual masters and communes. And I've been learning a lot. And at one point, I had the intention to share this with the people. So that's why I wanted to create a beautiful center. It is in the middle of nature in central Mexico. We have a waterfall. It is beautiful. I mean, just being there, I think it is healing.
Right.
The center itself, just like taking people out of the cities and putting them in the middle of nature, it is a wonderful thing to do. Also, we bring people that are that I met along my path, my quest, and these therapists and these leaders of meditation leaders. Some of them, they come and share their teachings. And I also gather my people that they read my books, they follow my Facebook and my social media, and we there have meditation retreats mostly. I am focused now in mindfulness. I think mindfulness is the answer that we're all looking for. Therapy has its place in our self-improvements, in our own development. But the cherry on the cake, I think it is meditation. You know? Actually, that's how I call it. This mindfulness is the cherry on the cake of self-improvement, of self-development. And that's what we do. We gather for long weekends, and we enjoy mindful eating, mindful sitting, some formal meditations, and that's one part of it. The other part is inspired by the Native Americans of the North,
yeah.
the Sioux Indians, to be more precise. And we do sweat lodges. I don't know if you heard about this. Sweat
Yes,
lodges.
yes.
Oh, great. So that's a ceremony that we share with the people. I've been trained by them for 18 years now. So it is not something that I am trying to share without any permission. No, I have the knowledge, I have the permission from them to share with the people. So we combine meditation, the Osho tradition, and mindfulness meditation, and also the Red Road, that is the philosophy of the Native American Indians, the Sioux, to be more precise.
Sounds absolutely wonderful.
It is, I think. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, Anand, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me. The Slave is now out. I mean, it's a huge success. I'm not sure if people can see that. Huge success in Mexico, and rightly so. It's a wonderful translation. So I wish you every success with it in all these other languages that have been translated into. And Anand Dilvar, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you, Claire. Thank you to all of you. Thank you very much.